everyone. Oh my gosh. So you would not believe what just happened. We go live every Wednesday. We took the past couple weeks off. We go live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And I have a special guest. I say that every week, but she's very special to me and to Mode. But she and I were chatting, and I just clicked on my phone to see, like, oh, is anyone commenting and blah, 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 blah. And I realized that we were not even live. So I'm so sorry we were late. We were technically not late. I just am like a grandma, and I'm very bad with technology, and I simply did not click the go live button. Eek! Okay. So we're going to repeat ourselves a little bit. We were just like talking about our background and whatnot. Without further ado, please put your hands together. And I'd love to introduce Angela from the Mode Events team. Yay!
Hi!
Oh my God. I'm so glad it was you because we worked together and not someone who I didn't know as well.
That's so funny. It's totally okay.
Welcome to the show.
It happens.
Oh my God. Okay. So Angela lives in Vegas. I live in Chicago. And today we're going to talk about a few things. We took a couple of weeks off and we were in Florida. Yay. And we didn't get COVID. So thank God. We went for a corporate event, and Angela, of course, is like the person that we're having everyone like ask for COVID test results. So Angela, thank you for doing that.
Of course, safety first.
Yeah. Wait, you said 50 first?
Safety first.
Oh, safety. I feel like you need like a sign or a hat or something.
Safety first.
Yeah, it's been hard, and we'll get into the pandemic and COVID later in the episode. We are going to try to stay on until, I would say, like 6 o'clock Pacific. We usually have about an hour. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. We try to meet here every Wednesday. Again, we took a couple of weeks off, and we're going to just talk about anything wedding related. So I know you just did this, Angela.
Okay.
But if you want to tell the viewers how you chose the private event industry and a little bit about your history so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, sure, of course. Well, thank you for having me, first off. But so pretty much I started in hospitality back in 2012. That was when I went to college at University of Nevada, Las Vegas. It's a great school for anyone that's wondering or, is interested in going to college. The hospitality program there is really top-notch and very, very fun. I had a very, very great college experience with the hospitality department there.
Do they have a campus? Is it like traditional? Do they have like a campus?
Yeah, the university. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
It's like a traditional school, like any other university or college, or yeah. Mm-hmm. And when I started in hospitality with that program there, I at the time wasn't sure if I wanted to do events or hotels or food and beverage. But then after a couple years in the program, I was like, okay, events is what I want to do. But after graduation, I kind of just got caught up, I guess, in hotels. I kind of just found a job in hotels. I knew a lot of people in hotels, and I worked for Marriott for a couple years. And I worked in activities there, and that was actually where I found Mode, because Sheridan, one of our Vegas partners, he brought in our DJ for our Saturday pool party on our pool deck in the summertime. And I was in the activities department, so I was, I saw them every Saturday when they came to our property. And I didn't really know that Mode did full service planning at the time. I just kind of thought they were a DJ company. And then I learned quickly, and then I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. And they were like, join our team. So yeah, and here I am.
Cool. I mean, well, it's so nice that you have hospitality experience. I think that really helps with private events. Like, I worked as a bartender and a server years ago, and then that kind of helps us recognize, I don't want to speak for you, but like, we understand certain elements of private events. Like when we're checking the banquet order, we know like what to look for. We know it's reasonable there, so our clients don't get
related. Like the customer service, client service, base industry. It's and I was you know, it's like it all brings joy to people's life, like I was saying earlier when we weren't live. But you know, like whether you're, you know, planning someone's wedding or whether you're, you know, bringing a nice bottle of wine to someone's table at a restaurant, it all like makes people happy. And that's kind of what drew me to the hospitality industry in general, and events industry as well, of course. And it's so much fun. It's always different. But yes, I do agree with you. It does, having that background has definitely helped with, you know, lots of aspects of event planning.
I always try to make sure that the people paying for the event, whether it's a wedding or a corporate event, has a glass of alcohol in their hand.
Yes.
Honestly, because like they need to be taken care of. I mean, they are hosting a group of people and they need to be taken care of. But oftentimes, as you know, like the host of the event, you don't want them to be forgotten, you know.
Of course not. No. Yeah.
Whether it's a coffee or a beverage, whatever it may be, water, like you have to think about the humans' basic needs of like what they need. Like if they're thirsty, if they know where the bathrooms are, if their like, temperature in the room is okay, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a slight cold. Forgive me.
Oh no.
Well, it's like anytime I have a sniffle or anything these days, I'm like, oh my God, do I have COVID? I think that's everyone's.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I sneeze. And then, oh my God, do I have COVID? Or it's like, I get a tickle in my throat and I have to cough, or I swallow my water wrong. And I'm like, I promise I just choked on my own saliva or water or something. It's not good.
You're like trying not to cough. I'm like trying not to cough. It's like dying inside. So people.
Yeah. It's sometimes like awkward in public. It's like, you know, like I don't want to like scare anyone.
I know. Yeah. It's winter time. It's, oh my God, be so lucky that you're in Vegas because it's supposed to snow here again.
I know. I feel so bad for you guys. You know, and it's funny because it's like in Vegas, we kind of have like the best of both worlds because we like, I go up to the snow all the time. Well, you know, all the time, but a decent amount, you know, to go snowboarding or skiing or whatever. And it's like, we'll go up there, enjoy the snow. I have all the snow apparel and everything, but it's like, we don't really have to deal with it on a daily basis. So
yeah, I don't have a car. And when you don't have a car, I don't really think about the effects of the snow. You just like, Uber, but when you do have a car,
and that's like, to me, like I've never lived I'm from, you know, originally from California, and I moved to Vegas to come to school, but you know, I could never live in a snowy area owning a car. Like, I think I might be able to handle like the cold. I feel like I could, because I handle it when I like travel to the snow, but driving in it, oh my gosh, no, I don't think I could deal with that. Scraping ice off my windshield, no. Shoveling snow out of the driveway.
Like a tool, and you like scrape off the windows and you turn the car on and turn the heat on.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I actually do have one of those little ice scraper things. Because when I lived in California, I used to in high school, I started school super early at like 7. And sometimes my windshield would be frozen over. It would never snow, but like it would freeze overnight. So if there was any like water or whatever, you know, still freeze over the windshield. So I am,
Well, yeah, I think with our company, since you're traveling and whatnot, you are kind of, it seems like you're used to the cold weather. Like I don't hear you complaining, which is really cool. Like,
I mean, we have never, I don't think, traveled together when it's been really cold. I guess we did go to New York and Philly, but that was fall, so it wasn't super cold.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, no, cold doesn't bother me that much. But yeah, driving in it, that would bother me. Like driving on ice and like the car, like, yeah, no.
Well, it gets slushy and gross.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. I could talk about weather all day. So anyway, back to the show. If there's anyone watching, this episode is kind of like 2 parts. One, we're going to talk about, we've already started talking about a little bit into getting to the wedding industry, but then later talking about the state of COVID and the pandemic. It's probably going to be a topic every week for a while. At some point, we're probably going to address it. But I know you mentioned your background getting into hospitality or into wedding planning and event planning is through hospitality. Same with me. You went through the hotel side of things, and I went through like the restaurant and bar side of things. They're all connected. I'd love to share some advice to anyone watching who's interested in getting into the event industry. And then Angela, if there's anything you want to add too. Well, for you, did you start like I know you worked with Marriott, but
Mhm.
did you have Marriott on the brain, and like how did that process work? Getting
No, I didn't actually have Marriott. Like, I've always known Marriott to be like a very good company to work for, and they actually are. They're a great company to work for. They treat their employees well. But I wasn't like, oh, I really want to work for Marriott. It kind of just, I honestly found that job on Indeed. Like,
okay,
and
yeah, I was gonna ask like how you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I found that job on Indeed, and I love the people I work with. I really had nothing bad. I have nothing bad to say about working at Marriott or for Marriott or, you know, with any of my coworkers or anything like that. I kind of just was like, like this isn't just what I want to
Time
do.
to public shame them. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, say that again.
So now's your time to publicly call anyone out that you hate
Oh,
it.
that's funny. No, everyone was great. My supervisor Leilani and director Erica and activities, they were fantastic. I loved working with them. Learned a lot, definitely. Learned a lot working for Marriott. But yeah, I kind of was just like, I don't think I can do this. I just didn't want to do it forever. I knew I wanted to do events already. So it actually worked out perfectly because Marriott was really how I got introduced to Mode. So, you know, everything's really meant to be, everything happens for a reason, they say, right? So,
if I wasn't a wedding planner, I would probably want to work for a hotel because they host events. So,
yeah,
you know.
it's fun. You know, it's funny though, because Grand Chateau where I worked, it actually was a timeshare property. We weren't a hotel, so we did have owners and we didn't really have event space. So unfortunately, we never got to see kind of that side. But working in activities, it kind of was similar to a lot of event things. You know, I mean, we did all sorts of stuff. We had like the Saturday pool parties on the pool deck. We had like these things called Wine Down Wednesdays. And we would like serve glasses of wine and like paint and stuff like that. And it was actually,
Sorry.
what?
What are you drinking?
Oh, what am I drinking? This is Pinot Grigio.
Oh, cheers. Rosé.
Cheers. Yes.
Okay, so Wine Down Wednesdays. So you were doing activities for the hotel guests.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, there would be some days like if we happened to have had a whole bunch of activities scheduled on the pool deck and it happened to rain, like obviously we had to cancel all of them. Or if it was super windy or whatever, you know, bad weather reasons. There'd be days where we would, you know, just end up doing arts and crafts in the activities room. And like so many guests would come in and they would be there for like 8 hours, just like painting with us and stuff. And it was like, it was fun. It was really a fun job. I got to really develop a lot of relationships with a lot of our guests as well. It was cool. I really did like that experience.
Well, I was going to say like, if there's someone watching who wants to be specifically a wedding planner, because we do have inquiries through email. Every now and then usually it's women, we'll get a girl who just says like, I want to intern, you know, like, here's my resume. So obviously having your resume is a good thing, but I will say like the experience is where it's at. And it's like important to get that first foot into the door. So like you did it through the hotel industry. I did it through bars and restaurants. For me, I just cold called. I was living in New York at the time. I just cold called and cold emailed like the top 20 wedding planners. So I just searched top 20 wedding planners in New York City. And I was getting like David Tutera and a bunch of celebrity planners. And I got a lot of no's. So just like any job, you have to be persistent. I don't know. Did you have to apply to a lot of places before you got accepted to Marriott or no?
Yes and no. It kind of like a little bit of a backstory, actually. I worked as, I had a temporary position right before I worked for Marriott. So right after graduation, and I graduated in spring of 2017. It was during that time that I had a hard time finding a job. And so then I took this temporary job with this company called Bonatel. They're a travel wholesaler here in Las Vegas, pretty small company. And I did like data entry for them. And I mean, I really like that company as well, but data entry was just definitely not what I wanted to do by any means, you know, just entering numbers all day. I was entering like rates and inventory and stuff like that for them. Again, learned a lot from them as well. But I that was when I, you know, and I knew that that temporary position, it didn't really have an exact end date, but I kind of knew it was going to end probably soon. And Marriott was actually the first job I applied for, and I got a call back like the next day. It was actually like, yeah. And I feel like that's super rare. Because like 6 months prior to that, I was like, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to find a job. I just graduated college. And like, that's the, you know, scary feeling. Cause it's like, I felt like it was like the first time in my life where I didn't have like something like planned out ahead of me, you know? So, you know, cause after high school, I went to college and I, you know, knew I was going to college. And then after that, I was like, oh, what do I do? So that's a scary, very like, I learned a lot about being an adult, I guess you could say, during that time. Like, but yeah, and then I ended up applying for a few jobs, but Marriott was like the first one that called me back, and I ended up interviewing for a couple different companies as well, but Marriott offered me a job right away. And so I was just like, okay, I'll take it.
It's important it's important, just like any job, to do your research too. So I always tell people, like, if they say like, how did you get into the event industry, and like, how did you choose the employer? I mean, the employer chooses you, but you also have to choose the employer, right? So how do you?
It's a mutual process. Yeah. Yeah, you know, and I feel like a lot of people, when they're like nervous for interviews and stuff, and like it goes both ways. Sometimes the interviewer can be just as nervous as the interviewee. And, you know, it's like, I think it's important to realize that, yes, you need that job, but that employer needs you just as much, right? Or they should, right? And that's how, you know, the most optimal situation would work out. Yeah.
It's like interviewing is like dating. I feel like you're like, what are you about? What are your needs? What are your expectations? So yeah, like do your research in your market, whatever city you live in. Just search like event planning companies, wedding planning companies. I would call and email. Just be annoying. People need to follow up. This applies to any type of job, in my opinion, but and just see what they're about and see what their needs are and if your interests match up. And in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about this, Angela, but I think that you should be willing to, like, depending on your situation, but like if you're younger, try to do a free internship, like working for free. I know it sucks, but maybe have like a job on the side that pays, and then try to squeeze in hours. Like for us, I've had people shadow. So like, let's say there's this young girl and she's really sweet and amazing, but she's never done any weddings at all. I would want her to shadow and do a couple, just to see if she's like, you know, like trainable, you know?
Yeah. And see if she even likes it too.
Yeah. And see if they even like it. You don't, and this is just my opinion and not like the entire company opinion, but like, just train, make sure it's a good fit. And then you can talk about hiring them on.
Yeah.
Because what if they suck and they hate it? You know, like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about like trial and error, right? Yeah, it's you know, and it's like funny you say that, because I feel like a lot of things, and a lot of hospitality professionals, I've heard people say this in the past before, and I truly do believe this, that like when it comes to, you know, finding a good fit for a position, it really is more, I think, about someone's personality really than it is about their actual like ability. Because, you know, you can train people to do tasks, right? But you can't really train somebody to be personable and to, you know, have a lot of drive. You know, people either have drive or they don't, or, you know, they're personable and they can talk well with clients, or they can't. You know, those are kind of harder things to train. But it's like, okay, you know, entering something into a database or into a software that we need, like that is trainable, right? So I don't know if that really is much advice, but
well, a lot of people think too, they're like, you know, because there's a lot of companies out there that will promote a training program or a school or courses. I personally did not pay for training. I trained through being an assistant and just like being on site and learning, taking notes, literally
taking notes. To learn. really.
Yeah.
It's like being on site. And that's actually why I liked the UNLV hospitality program so much, because they required you to do a lot of on-site work. They required you to graduate to have work experience in the hospitality industry. And so, I mean, we had like field trips all the time, and we did like projects where we hosted like wine events on the strip and stuff. So I did feel like after graduation, I did have a little bit or a decent amount of experience, but I do agree with you. The experience is really where it's at. So whether it's like, yeah, volunteering or interning or shadowing, it all helps, you know.
Yeah, not knocking education, because like I even have some
Of course not.
friends who like created their own online course, pay $9.99 to read XYZ thing. And I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that there are ways, like if you can't afford it or if you don't want to pay right now, like you can just take the time to meet with the professionals. Like I used to I would invite people to coffee and just say like, can I pick your brain? Even now as a wedding planner, I've been doing this 6-7 years full time. And I still have people who I admire in the industry. There are women in the industry and men that have been planners for like 20 years or something, you know, like doing this a long time, and there's something to learn from everybody.
Of course. Yeah, everyone has a different experience and insight.
Yeah. I mean, like we do things the way we do it, and then other companies do it a different way. And I like Mode because we've always been anywhere. It's like there is no competition. Like we do our thing, everyone else does their thing, and like be an open book. Mm-hmm. Some wedding planners are like, I'm not going to talk about what we charge and our process. It's like you can do the exact same thing that I do. It's just a, like you said, personality. Like someone might vibe with me more than they'll vibe with another planner. So
exactly, yeah.
DJ Elite, hello. I saw Sick and Crazy also said hi. Hello.
Hi.
Well, yeah. So if you're a viewer and you have any questions about the event industry, please email us. The email address is weddings@mode-event.com. So we can answer any questions that you have. But the next topic I wanted to talk about is the pandemic and what the hell do you do? Oh, here's my outfit change I was going to mention. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, there it is.
like if you are getting married, if you're supposed to be getting married in 2020, like what the hell do you do? I can curse, I think. What the hell do you do? Because that's the question that a lot of couples are asking us. Mm-hmm. And the majority of our 2021 couples, they were booked with us originally in 2020.
Yeah.
And
easy.
Our very, very first episode of Wedding Wednesdays 30 weeks ago plus was kind of about this of like, what does that process look like? If you were getting married, you have to think about, let's say you're trying to have 200 people and your wedding is in June in Chicago. Do you decide to postpone again? Or do you opt to do a smaller group? Like, what would you do, Angela? I mean, I know you're not that person, but.
Yeah. It's so hard to say. I think it really depends on the couple and exactly what their needs are. For, some couples, I don't think care and they just want to get married, right? And I guess you can have the viewpoint of, well, we've postponed so much already. Like, why were we going to postpone again? Like, we just want to get married, right? And then you can also have the viewpoint of like, oh, well, we've already postponed this much. So what's another few months or what's another half a year or a year even? So I think it just really depends on, I don't think there's like a solid, like, this is right and this is wrong kind of thing for that situation. I think it really depends. Some people, I think, really value having a big, glamorous wedding and all their friends and family to be there. And if that's important to them, and that's okay. And there's couples that just all they care about is getting married and, if only having them. Yeah.
Let's just do this already.
Yeah. And it's like, that's okay too. So I think, and there's probably people that are like, kind of straddling those two ideas and are probably like, I don't know which one to pick. And I don't think there's really like a yes or no or which one is better answer, honestly.
I totally agree. I think, like you said, you just have to kind of have a sit down with your significant other and your family and kind of assess that. Now that we are past the holiday season and into a new year, there is a vaccine. I think everyone is kind of waiting. Like, we're just now seeing people reaching out saying, like, what do we do? Like, our wedding's in May, our wedding's in April, May, June. No one from our July weddings have reached out yet, because I think they're just trying to see progress in the numbers. But yeah, I think the answer is to follow the CDC guidelines and the city mandates. And based off of that, wherever you live in the US, it's going to be different. But you're going to have to make the decision to postpone again or do a lower guest count.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not easy making that decision at all, right? And it is difficult. It is difficult because sometimes I think they make these decisions really quickly, and then all of a sudden you have to make your decision now quickly. If, they change the regulations, they'll do it overnight, right? So,
but there are solutions too. We have discussed like the mini Moni. Have you heard of that? A mini Moni?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Mini ceremony. And then you can always have like a vow renewal a year later, whenever you want, like a bigger party.
Yeah.
Something we've talked about in the past is we're doing a lot of virtual live streams. So that is a service that Mode is tremendously growing in. Like, we were doing it before and during the pandemic, but we're still in the pandemic, but more couples are realizing like, okay, I think we should consider doing virtual services, because there's no way we can accommodate like 300 people by June, most likely.
Yeah.
So what that can look like, just so the viewers know, like if you're watching and you're getting married and you know that you can't invite everyone, we basically have a team. We'll talk to you about what you're wanting to do, but basically it can be like 1 or 2 cameras. You can get as jazzy as you want with it. And we will document and live stream out the ceremony, but then also we have like breakout rooms that you can talk to your guests in. And there's like a virtual, what's it called? Guest book. So like normally would go and sign a guest book. Basically it's like that virtually. So just some fun things. Also can do like slideshows of pictures, which is really nice. It's like a nice intro to the video. Have you seen any of our live stream videos yet, Angela?
I haven't. I mean, obviously I was there with everyone in Miami, and the production guys do a great job at setting everything up, and they're like, really great at doing all that, so, which is great. But no, I actually haven't. I mean, aside from what we kind of saw a little bit here and there when we were, sitting behind the scenes in Miami, no, I actually haven't. Yeah.
Well, we have a few videos saved. I can show you for sure. But yeah, Angela and I were in Miami 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, time's flown.
Yeah.
And we were there for a corporate client, and that was virtual, and it's just the way to do it right now to keep things safe.
Yeah.
Really. She and I were in person, and we had to wear masks and the whole thing. I can't wait till, I don't want to jinx it. I was gonna say, I can't wait till we don't have to wear masks all the time. But that's just like the way of the world. Maybe that's just how it will be.
Yeah. I know. Who knows? It's so unpredictable, the future.
They have really cute masks though now. Like you can do custom.
Oh yeah. I love, and I kind of now have like masks for different outfits, and I have like, cheetah print and floral.
You had the cheetah print.
Oh yeah. I like that. Yeah. That's one of my favorites actually. That one fits well.
I'm going to do a plug for Halo because I'm an affiliate.
Oh.
If you want a Halo mask, hit me up.
Those ones are good. They fit well. I wish they had cuter designs though. That's my only.
I know. Well, I like it because Halo masks have this like plastic piece from the nose to the chin, and it kind of keeps the fabric away from the face. So when you breathe in, it's not like sucking to your face. It's
like bony or something, or
adjustable. Like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this is a Halo commercial, and
That's funny, but it's like the little things that make a huge difference with masks, right? You know, it's like whether they have the adjustable like nose bridge thing, or like you were saying that, you know, wire or boning or whatever they call it, the ear adjustment things.
Yep.
The tiniest little things make a big difference.
you know, especially when we're wearing them all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, so if you're watching, I don't think we have any comments yet about postponements necessarily, but if you watch this later, because we will share this video on YouTube, and then you can also see it on Facebook. But if you have any questions about the postponement process, hit us up. We are doing that as like an added service with our coordination services. So if you need a day of coordinator, we can add on the rescheduling and postponement service. What that means is basically like if you're in this situation now and you realize that you need to push your wedding again or for the first time, we help you find a new date, talk to all your vendors to get new contracts, make sure everyone's available. I actually had a wedding, Angela, that they hired us for their DJ, and this is for May, I believe, May or June. And I just spoke with them, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and they called and they said that their venue here in Chicago, if you guys know Moonlight Studios, so maybe this is like breaking news for Chicago, but Moonlight Studios decided that they don't want to host any events until July 1st at all. So they have events on the books.
Okay, wow.
Stuff, and they just emailed all of their clients. They didn't even tell any of the vendors yet. They just said, we are not hosting events till July. You can cancel and get all of your money back. You have to make this decision within like 2 weeks or something. Okay. Or you can postpone and you'll get charged an additional $1,000, I think, which they've already charged a fee to postpone. So this couple called me like kind of frantic. They're like, they know that we offer coordination services. So they're interested in hiring us now for that. But they're like, do you know of any venues? It's such a pain. They have to like find a venue because they want to stick with their original date.
It like doubles everyone's work almost, right? It's like, you know, y'all did all this planning. Now you have to do it again. Like,
and we actually didn't charge extra money to assist with this. And I'm only laughing because that part of me is like, oh, that's so much extra work. Like I kind of did, but at the end of the day, no one knew what this whole process was going to look like.
Exactly. And it's like no one's fault, right? Like it's, you know, something that we can't control. Our clients can't control. We can't control it. So
yeah.
But
in hindsight, it's like I'd literally never postponed an event before the pandemic. I never had to.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you postpone, it's usually due to, I don't know, just like personal situations and a couple of flags, like they need more time to save more money, or like things come up with work and they have to postpone, or maybe there's like a death in the family and they need to have time to mourn. I don't know the reasons, but I've never had to postpone until COVID hit. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is what this feels like.
Yeah.
Because at first we're like, oh yeah, we'll help you, and which we want to. I don't want to come off like we didn't want to, but after we went through the process over and over and over, and you realize, oh my God, this is a ton of extra work, a ton of extra time. I don't know what the right answer is, if we should have charged more or not. I don't know. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah. You know? And I mean, I don't think there is a right answer, right? It's like, you know.
Happy to help, honestly. I mean, I will say I've never felt so rewarded as a wedding planner, because everyone that we were working with was like, oh my God, I couldn't have done this without you. Like, I feel so bad for couples that don't have a planner. That's like my little plug to have a wedding planner, but it's already stressful enough, wedding planning, you know?
Yeah. But that gratitude is sometimes, you know, enough, right? You know, because hopefully if our clients are happy, they'll spread the word.
Yeah. It keeps you, like, wedding planning is a really rewarding job in the sense of like, validation of like,
Mhm.
you see the couple walk down the aisle after working with them for a
Aw.
year and you're like, ah, like, I don't know. It's so cool. You have to like it.
Yeah.
Just like
Like watching it all come together in the end. It's yeah.
the show. I screamed and I noticed a couple of viewers dropped off. Sorry. Promise I'm not singing.
Aw. I don't think you scared anybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, here. I'm gonna actually type our little what do you call it? Email address? Yeah. We can't type and talk at the same time. But I'll show this in case anyone wants to email us. We're going to be on next week, same time. So if you guys want to join us, I'm not ending the show yet. We still have like 10 minutes, but email us if you have any questions about mode, Angela, myself, wedding planning in general, getting into the wedding industry. It's funny because this show, like we started this show directed towards couples who need wedding planning advice. But we've realized that people are watching, I mean, just through Google searches, like people who are interested in the event industry in general and other wedding planner friends. So hello, everybody, friends. Oh, got lots of fun emojis from DJ Elite. Thank you. So we also stream through Twitch. That's where he's coming from, because you can do like really fun emojis. But Twitch, it's our Mode Events site. So it's just at Mode Events, and then through Facebook, it's the Wedding Zella Mode. But we started on Twitch, and then we realized that like a large group of people are the majority are on Facebook. So I wanted to try to go on Instagram, but you can't do this like jazzy. You can't do like the banners and whatnot. So fun fact. But what else can we talk about? Because we do have like 10 more minutes. My nose is stuffy. Can you tell?
Just a little bit.
I'm like so disgusting.
No, that was me. I mean, maybe I gave you a cold. I don't know, because I think I probably had a cold when I was in Miami with you. And now I'm like, how, like, we're practicing all these social distancing.
We shouldn't have made out. Just kidding. The views go up.
Yeah, right? Like, oh, it's that kind of show.
Yeah. It's getting late now. It's 8 o'clock here, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. It's like, how many glasses of wine have we had now?
No, I did get it from you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just so funny because we practice all these social distancing measures, and it's like, if you would think all those things, right, are supposed to prevent COVID from spreading, you would think it would also prevent a cold from spreading, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's definitely, but like being on a plane, like I did have a snack on the plane, or like.
Yes, me too. I did take my mask down just to eat, real quick, and obviously, like in between bites, I feel like I have to put my mask back up. You know, because they make it so clear.
Do you have any trips planned?
No
I don't either, which I don't like. I usually like to have something.
Yeah, and it was funny because during the still pandemic.
I keep saying
that too, but things are slowly getting more and more back to what they were before coronavirus. So it feels like the pandemic is ending, but right, we don't really know. Anyways, but when the pandemic first hit back in March, it was like everything. I had all these trips planned. Everything got canceled. I haven't like rescheduled anything. I was supposed to go to Disneyland. I was supposed to go to Napa. And I kind of forgot about them. You know, like it's been so much time now. It's been almost a year. So I don't know. So like the Napa trip was something that like my friend had won at an auction at an event. So I never booked a flight or anything, luckily. So that I don't know. That's a good question because I don't know if he still has that or not. And then my Disneyland trip, I had this I never booked a ticket, but I had this like voucher for like a free stay at the Anaheim Marriott. So, but yeah, and I haven't even honestly even tried to use it just because with the pandemic, Disneyland is closed. It's still closed, I think, right?
Yeah, but maybe like check to see like if there's an expiration date or something.
I know. I should. And I was like, I even tried calling them right when probably like last summer sometime, and it was like, I want to say their sales department or something that I had to contact, and that was like the number on the form, and like they didn't answer, and I would call them like every day, and they still didn't answer. But I think people just weren't working.
Customer
right?
service has been the worst since the pandemic hit.
Yeah, and it's like I can't blame them. People are losing their jobs, and people are, it's no one's, I can't blame anyone individually for that. But I also think people working from home too, I'm sure like maybe the number didn't work anymore. I don't know. So
yeah. I can't tell you how many bounce back emails I've received over the past few months. It's sad.
Yeah.
So-and-so's not working here anymore. So-and-so. And I feel another reason why I feel bad for couples, because all of their representatives that they've decided to hire, like I'm not saying that a couple has chosen to work at a venue because of a person, like the venue, but maybe the sales representative made them feel really comfortable, like they're going to be. But.
Yeah. I don't even know.
You should answer it.
It's actually it's one of my friends, but I can talk to her later.
Like, you're live.
Yeah. She would probably think I was kidding though. So she would probably like say something really stupid, honestly.
Well, we can wrap a little bit early. Thank you so much again for being the guest / co-host.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here.
Like it'd be fun. It'd be even fun to like have the two of us with another guest and like.
Yeah.
So this is good. I'm excited.
The more the merrier.
I agree. Yeah. I had like 2 photographers on, and it went really well. So that was kind of like the trial of having multiple people on.
Yeah.
I think this can allow. Don't quote me on this, but I think we can do like up to like 40 or something. I mean, we'd never want to do that, but we have the potential.
Yeah.
Have more people. So this year is going to look really, really great just for people who have previously watched, or if you're new to the show. In the past, we usually have a guest, like a different vendor, whether it's a florist or an officiant or whatnot. But we are going to, once it's safe, we're planning on doing site visits at different venues to show you like the ins and outs of new venues that are out there. This is in Vegas and Chicago, maybe other cities, I don't know. And then we're planning on having like more vendors on at a time, just to have like panel discussions and possibly even some of our couples down the road. So this is gonna be a good year. I'm feeling good, even though like things are still a little weird with COVID. I think it's gonna be a tremendous year for growth for the industry. So fingers crossed. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you again, Angela. And we will see you guys next week at 5 o'clock Pacific. Cool. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.